distribution trucks in St. Kitts and Nevis. Vita Malt. Enjoy it. Return it. Let's keep St. Kitts and Nevis clean.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's 11:59 and in the Federation of St. Christopher Nevis. I'm saying for the folks in other demographics, wherever you are, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates in the hot seat today on the 24th day of August. And we're saying once again, welcome to the platforms. We know that Voices is a program where opinions and suggestions are discussed here. It's just a social platform of discourse, and those who are familiar with the platform know that we just try to keep it as respectable as possible. We discuss issues, not personalities, and if we have to discuss personalities, of course, people in the public space, we try to keep it respectable because we have many folks around the world who are listening. And for today's program, I would ask, and this comes from my interaction with listeners over the last week, well, in times past also, some have concerns or complaints that we would allow certain callers to just hog the time. So what we're asking of our callers today, that we keep your contribution to about 3 minutes. We can have good discourse in there. You could have a respond. You have a chance to call back. But if you have to make a point and you have to get your notes ahead of time, let's try to keep your contribution on our calls to within 3 minutes. We would appreciate that for all our other viewers and listeners who wants to get an example. Mr. Pell, David Pell, for some time has been complaining. He's on the line. He can't get in. We have to try to accommodate as many as our callers as possible. We don't have a guest in-house with us today, so we would invite the public to, engage us and let's get something going. Whatever is on your mind is called Voices. It's really about your program. But I would like to touch on something, and this comes from questions I've had for Kalonji, who is often here, and for Journey, one of our more ardent contributor, about our people responds to the many suggestions that we need to get together, we need to do this, we have to look at how others treat us, how we are supposed to react to them, etc. And I was mindful of something that happened in Antigua recently, where Prime Minister Gaston Brown took a stand against the U.S. in terms of the deportee program, where he stated he wasn't taking X amount and the reasons why. And I'm thinking, what if the CARICOM member states banded themselves together and took a united position, a concerted position, as it relates to the deportee issue? Because one of the things that puzzles me is that with that program, nationals of other countries and other territories are deported to countries they've never been before. Whereas they have their own countries within the Caribbean Basin that's available. And why can't they accept their own people? We have no problem accepting our own nationals. So why are some of the leaders negotiating one-on-one with the U.S. State Department in terms of the volume of the program itself? What if our leader, or Prime Minister, were to say maybe sit with Gaston Brown, the PM of St. Vincent, etc., and come up with a concerted response to what is being pushed on us? We know there was some pushback from the U.S. administration as it relates to Gaston Brown's response to them, where in terms of their visa program, they changed it to whereas you would have, you apply for a visa and you would have a multiple entry. They're now saying only single entry, you have 3 months, but only a single entry is allowed to you, the citizens of Antigua. I think that's because they realize they can isolate the various leaders, deal with them one-on-one. Deal with them one-on-one and push their own agenda on them because we're weakened that way. We speak about unity. We have CARICOM, which of course is now proven to be very fragmented. We have about 15, let me see, we have about 15 countries that makes up CARICOM. 15. We have a population of roughly 18 million. Haiti have about 11 million, but the irony of this is that Haiti is not viewed as an active member of CARICOM. They are. But we don't embrace Haiti. We don't welcome Haiti into the fold as a CARICOM member state. But Haiti comprises of some 11 million people. Jamaica have 3.7 million. Trinbago has 1.4 million. And though Cuba is not part of CARICOM, its population is roughly about 11 million. When you put that together, you get about 25 million people in the region. So how wonderful it would be, Rascalandri, if we could reach these people, get a united front and push back against the many policies that do not benefit our people. I was made to understand that one of the persons that were granted asylum here is a Jamaican national. But he chose not to be sent to Jamaica, or he argued not to be sent to Jamaica. Because, as I understand it, he is of the gay community. And there's a very strong anti-gay vibes in Jamaica. He feels more comfortable here. So he chose to stay here, and that was tolerated. Our Prime Minister has stated that these people who he accepted don't have any violent crimes in their background. Whatever the case, we have accepted a CARICOM national in our midst, and whereas no particular explanation was given, the understanding is that he would rather not go to Jamaica, where there's a very strong homophobic attitude, and he prefers to come here. Actually, some years ago, roughly about 8-10 years ago, an SK national was able to make the case in Canada that his life is being threatened here in St. Kitts because he was of the gay community. And based on that petition, he was granted asylum in Canada. Now, we in St. Kitts Nevis know that he lied. He used that ruse to gain asylum, claiming that here in St. Kitts Nevis, his life was threatened. We have grown up with many folks of the gay community, embraced them, lived with them, etc. None have ever had any threats against their lives, but that was able to work for him. So here we have now this Jamaican national who was able to make the case. I am presuming now that if he's sent to Jamaica, his lifestyle will pose a threat to himself. So he chose St. Kitts and decided that he really don't want to go to Jamaica. Okay? So CARICOM, as I stated, is somewhat fractured. With 18 million, a population of 18 million people in CARICOM, population of. When you add that of Cuba, which is not a member of CARICOM, we got about 29 million. But we are fragmented. And so Antigua is left, I don't know if by choice, to bargain on their own. St. Kitts has bargained on their own. St. Vincent, Grenada, all the other countries are doing so. So then what is the use of CARICOM? We saw the example of what happened with Trinbago, how the US was able to get them to join them with the Venezuela issue, and how defensive that Prime Minister was about her actions with assisting the US. We have Trinbago nationals now regretting that, claiming, well, all the things that were promised, they're not receiving that. But the fact is, once you can implement the divide and rule policy, it works. I am not going to sit here and blame any colonialism and the aftermath of that for how our people develop. That has been in place since the dawn of time. What they were able to do was to use that policy of dividing and ruling a people. That was there. They didn't invent it. They didn't invent it. So the complaints in today's world that we are still victims of that policy, I think we have come a long, long way. We are actually approaching 200 years since the Emancipation Proclamation in the British colonies, because Spain and France had their emancipation a bit later. So did the America. But we're approaching almost 200 years of emancipation. We have 40 plus years of independence, even though we were among the last to achieve that. We were among the first, actually the first to be colonized, and among the last to achieve independence. But we are an enlightened people. In spite of the policies that's there, the neo-colonial policies that are affecting the region, we are an enlightened people. So we should not be using the divide and rule policy to defend opposition. Now let's take this caller. Go to call, your live on Voices.
Hi, good morning, the King.
Good morning, sir. How about that?
I'm giving thanks for life. And yourself?
Counting my blessings every day.
Right. Can I have permission to speak?
Most certainly.
The King, an observation. I just tuned in. I'm trying to get a hold of your topic. Something that I have observed on Saturday at the airport, which is welcoming, but I'm just wondering, because I know it pertains to our profession, the movement, the logistics, in terms of getting persons from the airport to their respective hotel room. Huh?
Yes. Point A, point B.
Yes. And for the first time, I have seen where, and it was being talked about because many other taxi operators observed it. As you know, Saturday is our busiest day at the airport. Because of the season, the off-season period, there has been a cutback in terms of the amount of international airlines. Air Canada is like seasonal.
Okay.
And we would have been getting another flight out of Miami. American Airlines would have put on 2 flights. Delta would have been coming likewise from New York, as opposed to the Delta that comes from Atlanta, and so forth and so forth. But because we're deep in almost to the latter part of the off-season, they would cut back because, the dance wouldn't be able to pay for the light.
Okay.
I don't know if we subsidize anymore for the empty seats. But Saturday, I observed something which I laud the respective tourism authority. I think it came from them. I want to think that there was a large group that's coming in for maybe a conference at the Marriott. And normally, whereas you would have retained maybe 2 or 3 or 4 coasters, they have decided to channel direct the logistics, the travel, the persons down through the dispatching system.
Okay.
Which you would thought that with 4 flights, I think the British Airways comes in, Delta, one from an American airline from Charlotte, and also an American airline from Miami. So 4 flights now, it has been reduced because of the off-season. And there are some times when 60 numbers will be dispatched. It has been higher at times, but on a sort of consistent basis, Saturday you will dispatch 60 numbers. And there would be times when not everybody will get a job.
Are you saying that this is something that you applaud? And that you would
Yes,
like to see more of?
I applaud it, yes.
And you're giving the tourism authority a compliments for that?
Yes, of course.
Rightfully so, okay.
At the same time, the King, hear me out. At the same time, I don't want it to be seen that it was a late notice to contact the operators of the coasters, and then they saw fit to send it to us as we.
So what is the information on that?
And it would be an afterthought that they will just send it to us because persons wasn't available at a certain time. I want it to be consistent because that's where the most of us operate from.
Okay, got you.
And they could mix it up.
Yeah, but did you ask any question pertaining to determine if this is going to be the norm going forward, or was it a one-off because the other coasters were not available?
I don't want to entertain that thought that we're just like an afterthought and we get the job on Saturday because there was no availability of whosoever they would have contacted before, because I have seen coasters operate before on the side over there, you know. So I just hope that they can mix it up. I love coasters to do it this time, and I love the majority of the taxi to do it the following time. And so everybody in the fraternity will get a part of a piece of it.
Who's the person that you would speak to determine if this was a one-off or can it be continued?
Well, I always use this medium to get my word across. I have been using this medium, and it has been working for me. And I know people listen.
Okay.
The King, you can attest to it on a Friday a long time ago.
Yes, but here's
when I push back.
Here's
okay?
what.
So I know that persons listen, and I applaud them for that initiative, but don't let it seem like it was an afterthought initiative where they just consider us, because we have families as well.
Okay. Grateful for the call. We're not at the point where we must give kudos to our sponsors, but we'll be right back. And I want you to listen to what I have to say after and give me feedback on that, okay? Thank you very much.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture, appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC, home and building depot. From lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC, home and building depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC, home and building depot. Drive, drive, drive into something new. Pause for automotive, waiting for you.
St. Kitts and Nevis. Get ready to drive into something new. Happening now through September 30th. Celebrate the journey to independence with Horsford's Automotive's Drive into Something New auto sales event. Together with the Heritage Initiative Motor Promotion from S.A. Horsford's Finance Company Limited, agents for Guardian Insurance. Enjoy! No down payment, free registration, 12 months free servicing, and up to $8,500 off all models. Plus, receive up to $1,000 in free gas or groceries. While customers financed through S.L. Horsford Finance Company Limited receive a free bill of sale and an additional $500 off first year insurance with Guardian Insurance. Eligible Heritage customers can also receive a 30% discount. Free windshield coverage up to $4,000 EC. Free open driver coverage. Retention of their no-claim discount and loss of benefits up to $1,750 EC. Visit Horsford's Automotive today. At Horsford's, drive into something new, drive in style. Save more, protect what matters. Terms, conditions, and eligibility requirements apply.
Buster! We run things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
It's 10:20 in the studios of WinFM. We want to say welcome back to our viewers and listeners as we salute the Donald family up in New York, Rosemary, Savannah, Joey, and everybody up there. Thank you for being a part of the WinFM family. Of course, we go to Virgin Gorda and Nelsia and her crew. Welcome to the program. Thanks for logging on. And let me tap into a bit of what the last caller had to say. You have a caller? Okay, caller, good day. You're live on Voices.
Greetings to you, the King.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. The King is Quint in the house?
He is on the board, definitely.
Okay. Greetings to you, Quint. Quint, I sent you a little clip. I don't know if you have the opportunity to take a look at it. The King, this morning I raised a concern on Island Tea, and with your permission, I would like to continue in that vein.
Please do.
Now, my topic this morning on Island Tea was about a coronation that took place in Sicily almost 2 weeks ago, where Pope Leo V ordered the coronation of Saint Agatha. Now, he ordered the cardinal, and the name of the cardinal is escaping me right now, the King, but the video is all over social media where the cardinal held a skull of what's supposed to be Saint Agatha's skull. Now, he performed a coronation where they crown this skull, and the cardinal kissed the skull, and they place it into a sculpture that represents Saint Agatha. What I touched this morning, the King, was that the Europeans stole the Ethiopian Bible. Now, who was Saint Agatha? Saint Agatha was a virgin who believed in torture to death those who refuse to become Christians. Now, you tell me, the King, how can someone want to persuade somebody to get salvation through death by killing off?
It was part of the culture.
Sorry?
It was part of the culture of the time. The politics and the religion, that was what prevailed at the time.
But the King, we are talking about a people that think they have the right to take lives. Who have the right to take another man's life? whether it was a, that culture is not civilized, the king. What is civilized about you taking somebody's life in order to make a statement or to force a people to be converted into something that's going to give them salvation? I mean, let's be real here. But
it was about power and subjugation. It was about consolidating power through subjugation. We accept that. We don't agree with it.
Well, you see, now, the king, the reason why I'm raising this topic is because the fact that, you see, it's almost like they are running out of lies now. And it brings me to go back into what was our culture and our custom. Because remember, what I'm saying is this, the king. We performed ritual. We had spirituality. And it was demonized by them. Now today, they're showing us. Now this Saint Agatha was in the year 1126. 1126, the king. If they stole our Ethiopian Bible, they stole our everything. And some of us say, oh, they have whitewash, and they gave us all that they give us. A Virgin Mary from a bag of cement that they put plastic in, and the Jesus idol. I'm saying all of that to say this, the king. They have taken everything from us. A couple of weeks back, I mentioned our artifacts that are in the museum, but they put in the Bible, thou shalt have no graven image. They are making millions off of our artifacts in their museum throughout Europe and America.
That is so.
But the thing is now, the archbishop, the cardinal, kissed the skull in front of a crowd in Sicily. My thing is, what made their ritual that they perform, their coronation, to honor Saint Agatha, who is now their ancestor? But when we do it with our space and our people, it is demonized. What gives them that right to demonize? And, I don't even want to use the word demonize. They copied our ritual, our spirituality, but their one must be approved while ours, we're supposed to cut ourselves off from our ancestors.
I think...
and when you look at... Sorry?
Our people today are becoming more and more enlightened. Okay? So what was quite normal back then is not accepted today. But the Catholic faith, what's the population of the Catholic Church? The following?
I don't know, the king, but you use the word, it was normal then. I mean, really? Normal? It was brutal. It was genocidal.
But it was normalized through religion. It was normalized and accepted by the Catholic faith. Even the Church of England, when they fought against them, trying to get away, they had the same practices.
Now, the king, my responder this morning came in and he responded by saying, I have my history wrong, like always. I am always wrong. And I don't want to discuss that. What I'm saying is this, the king. They give us certain things in the Bible. Now, for instance, you go to 2 Kings chapter 13. It tells us that Elijah used rituals. God used Elijah to perform a ritual to stretch his body over a dead person to revive that person back to life. But this was our ancestors' ability. You go to Acts chapter 19, where they use a handkerchief. Now they are copying our culture, the king. And in order for us to swallow their misery, all of it that was whitewash is what they stole from us, but we cut off from it. Well, I'm saying, the king, it's high time we get back to, like my message on social, it's high time that we reconnect. It's high time we remember. Because you see, all of us went through that metaphor, the king. We were spiritual cosmic being before we became flesh. It wasn't just no one God that descended. We all descended. And we went through that primordial water where spirit became flesh. But because they give us fear, false evidence appearing real, in a deity they refer to as God. But God and the devil is one in the same forces of polarity that is acted out in man.
I don't know if you heard me this morning when we started. We want to limit our callers to about 3 minutes. I don't know if you heard me.
All right, the King.
So you can call back, but we want to keep it.
I'm just quickly saying, the King. I want you to take a look at this clip that is on social media. Just type in Pope Leo, coronation of St. Agatha, and scroll down, because there are comparisons of when it is an African act, but it has been demonized. Type in Pope Leo on any social platform, whether YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and you're going to see it. You're going to see it, the King.
Thank you very much for your contribution. And we're 10:29. We do break for the our sponsors in every 15 minutes. What we have today is Africa, with a population of 1.5 billion people, projected to reach 2.5 billion by 2050, with 70% of the population under 30 in sub-Saharan Africa, with a median age of 19, making it the youngest and fastest growing demographic in the world. So in a short span of time, Africa will have the largest population. It's the second population now in the world, 1.5 billion, and Africa is rising, modernizing, reclaiming. All is not lost. Okay? So factor that in. When you say we, our people still need re-educating. Okay? What we had was an interruption of Africa's development culturally, population-wise, etc., in terms of resources stolen. And now, to the Western world, Africa is posed as a threat because we are reaffirming. We have examples of leaders who have defied the constraints of the IMF and the World Bank, are becoming self-reliant, self-sufficient, and they're growing. So that interruption, that phase that really destroyed or just fueled our interruption, we are a people on the rise. 1.5 billion, and it's the largest landmass in the world. So all is not lost. We're going to take a pause now to acknowledge our sponsors and come back. I'm a bit tongue-tied at that moment. We'll apologize for that.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
The new Vita Malt bottle is here, and it's returnable. So don't throw it away, bring it back for cash. Return your empties to your local Carib Brewery Depot and distribution trucks in St. Kitts and Nevis. Vita Malt. Enjoy it. Return it. Let's keep St. Kitts and Nevis clean.
It's Day Rave Round Robin, running from June 13th to September 26th. Saturday, June 13th, we kick it off at Starlink HQ, opposite Carib Brewery. Sunday, June 21st, Progressive Bar next to the Sandy Point Market. Saturday, July 4th, we at Chef Sam on 4th Street. Friday, July 10th, Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meals. Saturday, July 18th, it's a Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. Saturday, July 25th, check out Short Boss at the Ferry Terminal. Saturday, August 1st, back at Starling HQ, opposite Carib Brewery. Saturday, August 15th, Liquid Lounge, Bar and Restaurant, opposite the Sandy Point Hospital. Saturday, August 22nd, we're back at Cool Runnings Bar, Old Factory Road. Saturday, August 29th, it's Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meal. Saturday, September Fair Fun Times Bar on 4th Street. Saturday, 12th September. Link up at Short Boss at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meals. Saturday, September 19th, Independence Day. Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. And we close down on Saturday, September 26th at Chef Sam Bar on 4th Street. Day Rave Round Robin, June 13th to September 26th. Different DJs, different vibes, one experience. Daylight, music, energy. That's the Day Rave way.
Found the sound. 98.9 Win FM.
Welcome back once again to the studios of WinFM 98.9. Now, to piggyback on the topic raised by I have a call at the moment? Okay. Let's go back to the phone lines. Go to the caller. You live on Voices.
Good day, Sakutil.
Good day, sir. How are you?
Good. I'm blessed and good day to Quint and all your listeners.
Much appreciated.
Now, like I said, greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from their sins, by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the Bible only, in Jesus only.
Okay.
Now,
let's see if we can keep it to 3 minutes, okay?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So
Appreciate that.
I want to be quick as possible with the few things I have to say. Now, first of all, God used certain ancient Jews to give us the Bible in the Hebrew, Aramaic languages of the Old Testament and the Greek language of the New Testament.
How many books are there?
Hello?
How many books are there in the Bible?
66 in all.
Oh.
No. Yes. No. That's how God gave us his Bible, via certain godly Christian Jews who had the Spirit of Christ in them, all the way back from in the Old Testament time. Now, like I also said as well, the Roman Catholic Church, like all other organizations that preach a false gospel, they're all false, because the gospel is that we are saved we are saved through faith only, by grace only, in Christ only, according to the Bible only. That is the gospel of the Bible, and any other gospel is false.
Which Bible?
Which Bible?
Yeah.
The Bible that the holy men of God wrote, what we recognize as the 66 books.
The Catholic,
Genesis to Revelation.
the Roman Catholic have 73 Bibles, 73 chapters in the Bible, 73 books, sorry. You have 66.
Yes. Well, first of all, let's say the Roman Catholic Church.
The Ethiopian Bible has 81.
Yes.
How are you to determine which one is the authentic one?
Which one? Well,
you have 66.
Yes. Well, number one.
Number one
Old
is.
Testament is. Yes.
Is that the
number
King James Version?
The King James Version is an imperfect translation of the inspired.
Imperfect translation.
Yes. Right.
So you have the one with the perfect translation, because you find the Roman Catholic book have 73 books.
The original
the Ethiopian
is not
Bible
a
have
translation.
81. You have
and
66.
let me explain. Yes, and let me explain. The Roman Catholic add in the Apocrypha. The Bible says in Romans chapter 2, I think it is, that the Jews of the Old Testament, the Jews of the Old Covenant, they had the advantage in that they were given the oracles of God, what we call the Old Testament. So they with their prophets, knew what the Old Testament canon was. And the Jews never accepted the Apocrypha.
The Jews did not accept
the Roman
Christ.
Catholics accepted it.
The Jews did not accept Christ.
Well, the godly ones did. The godly ones did. His disciples did. His disciples is other godly, like Mary, you have Martha, and you have others who were godly who accepted Jesus Christ as the Messiah. But the vast majority of them didn't. But the Jews, we are told, were given the oracles of God. And so, therefore, they knew what the oracles of God were. If anybody knew, they knew. And they never accepted the Apocrypha.
Is Peter a Jewish name?
No, Peter is not a Jewish name. No.
Is John and Paul are the Jewish names?
No, they're not the Jewish name. They are the modern, they're how they come over in the modern English. For example, if you're going to read back in Greek, it's Johannan for John, Petrus for Peter, Matthias for Matthew, that sort of stuff. But when they come over into modern day English, we put them in the English equivalent of our modern day English. So that's why we have Peter, John, and so on and so on. But when you read the original, you're not going to see Peter and John. You're going to see how they are in the original languages of the Bible. It's just a matter of translation and bringing over from language to language. Now, concerning the New Testament, in order for a book to be inspired, the Bible tells us that in Ephesians 2 verse 20, that it is the prophets and the apostles that makes up the foundation, with Christ being the chief cornerstone that was laid for the church. So therefore, anything written by any prophet or apostle who was not already being such, by the time Ephesians 2 verse 20 was written, then that person cannot write any inspired scripture, because that office was closed at least by the time when Ephesians chapter 2 verse 20 was written. So all of these things, like from the Ethiopian Bible and so that was written afterwards and so on, they cannot be inspired. They cannot be a part of the Bible.
They were written before, not after.
No, well,
they were written before, not after.
Which book in the Ethiopian Bible was written before?
All.
Well,
yep.
That's not what I read. That's not what I read.
I understand what you read. I understand what you read. You can all go by what you read.
Yes, and number two, the Jews never considered them, the ancient Jews never considered them to be a part of the canon. And the early church in Jerusalem and so on, where the New Covenant Church started, they never considered them to be a part of the canon either. So even if that was written before, because many books were written before, Aristotle, Plato also wrote books long before. The Apocrypha was written long before. That doesn't mean that they are scriptures. So the Jews never accept them as oracles. The church that started in Jerusalem, the New Covenant Church,
so in your mind, the Jews were the ultimate authority of the Bible?
The Jews were the ones who God used to give us the Holy Scriptures. So therefore,
and they told you
those godly Christian Jews would know what the oracles of God are, because they were the ones who given them.
Okay.
Yes. So that is one of the things that I wanted to say quickly. But could I say now something quickly as well?
Go ahead, because I did interrupt you.
Yes. No. Up to now, we don't know who the committee is that the Prime Minister is waiting on. Up to now, we don't know who are comprised that committee. Well, I think it's for the SSZ. Up to now. And it's surprising that saying is people and Nevis people just accepting it like that.
Are they?
Not only that. Hello?
Are they? There's a lot of pushback.
It looks so to me.
There's a lot of pushback.
Is there a pushback?
A lot of pushback. The majority has voiced the opinion they are against it.
No, I'm talking about against the SSZ. No. I'm talking about, yes, they are pushback against the SSZ and the Destiny, but I'm talking about, it seemed to me that the Prime Minister keeping secret, it appears to me the Prime Minister keeping secret who the members of the committee are. Nobody is pushing back against that secrecy. I mean, could you tell me anybody who make up the committee?
I have no information on that.
Exactly. That things people seem to accept. And also as well. Now, I am for open immigration. I'm for open immigration, okay? But we just accepting all kind of nonsense. For example, you said the Antigua PM said that the people them who come in here, well, in Antigua, and I think maybe I probably might have said it as well. But you said earlier today, that the PM for Antigua said, the people who come going in Antigua, who they accepted, ain't have no criminal records, okay?
No. Our PM here said that.
Oh, so our PM here said that whether it's even worse.
He said that they don't have they don't have a criminal background.
Okay, Mr. Gaston Brown, I'm sorry.
That's what he said, not Gaston Brown.
Yeah.
Gaston
I'm
Brown
sorry,
is
Mr.
pushing back
Gaston
against the
Brown.
volume.
Right. So let me say, I'm sorry, Mr. Gaston Brown, I'm sorry. I got a bit mixed up with what Socrates said. So, Mr. Gaston Brown, don't sue me, please. Don't sue me. So our PM is the one who said it, okay?
Yep.
No. We, like little children, are just accepting that, okay? Do we have any information on these people who are coming here so that anybody could do a back check on them?
We should have, but is it public? Question
Exactly.
is, should it be made public?
It's not public. It's not public. The information...
You have to go through national security to get that
information. They give you the information as to the name, as to where the farm,
where
and
they are located.
Would they give you all that information at national security?
I doubt it. You would have to show just reason why you personally want to know.
Okay. Well, that should be for... Why isn't it for everybody so that somebody could go and do their own back
public
check?
knowledge?
Yes.
It's a sensitive thing, eh? But it has to be protocols and people knowing. You should be able to go and find out if you have concerns. But I don't think they put it out there for the general public.
But it should. But why isn't it out there for the general public so anybody could go and do their own personal research? You said they ain't got no criminal record. Well, should people be allowed to back check you without going through hoops and that sort of stuff to get the information?
I got you.
But anyway, but like I said, I am for open immigration, but I just bring up that to show you how our leaders do not regard themselves as the servant of the people, but rather as the masters of the people, and the people are the slaves. Because they keep things from you secretly. As far as I know, saying it ain't got no weapons of mass destruction, saying it ain't got no intelligence agency. So why are all these secrecies?
You know they manipulators. So many countries in the region depends on tourism.
From the very
and they're afraid of offending the markets, mainly in the US and Europe. We mainly don't want to look at Jamaica, St. Kitts, Nevis, Belize, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenadine, Suriname, to a lesser extent Trinbago and Guyana. We're heavily dependent on tourism. And so any little issue, we're very, very, we don't want it to offend those markets. Made in the US.
Therefore, no transparency.
So we cut tow and we take it.
So what about all the talk about transparency that our politicians promise? You see,
lost you there.
Just a load of talk. Any old Socrates, take care.
All right, thank you very much. We now pause once more to take it downtown and give our sponsors their due.
Is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Drive into something new. Horse's Automotive, waiting for you.
St. Kitts and Nevis, get ready to drive into something new. Happening now through September 30th. Celebrate the journey to independence with Horsford's Automotive's Drive into Something New auto sales event. Together with the Heritage Initiative Motor Promotion from SL Horsford's Finance Company Limited, agents for Guardian Insurance. Enjoy! No down payment, free registration, 12 months free servicing, and up to $8,500 off all models. Plus, receive up to $1,000 in free gas or groceries, while customers financed through SL Horsford Finance Company Limited receive a free bill of sale and an additional $500 off first-year insurance with Guardian Insurance. Eligible Heritage customers can also receive a 30% discount, free windshield coverage up to $4,000 EC, free open driver coverage, retention of their no-claim discount, and loss of benefits up to $1,750 EC. Visit Horsford's Automotive today. At Horsford's, drive into something new, drive in style. Save more, protect what matters. Terms, conditions, and eligibility requirements apply.
things are on we. Buster, Buster, living color, do it differently. Buster, Buster, large and in charge, like for the party. Buster, Buster, we set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster.
Okay, folks, welcome back again. I keep taking calls, but I was trying to get to the point that Africa raised about the interaction at the airport last Saturday. He spoke about that. But there's a lot of talk going around about what will happen to the taxi trade when we start the home porting. And the other two presidents, President and myself, have had discussions about approaching the tourism authority rather than waiting until that start to figure out what role would we play in that whole transportation thing from the airport to the home porting and return. We're hearing that there are companies, or at least one company, approaching the government, the tourism department, to take on the transportation. As you find in other countries, the established companies who have successfully applied to and received permission from the governments to handle the or get contracts for the transportation. We cannot afford to wait until it happens. So again, there'll be a delegation going to the relevant authorities to discuss that. In the off-season, the cruise industry, they favor the Mediterranean, the ships go to the Mediterranean, and so we have what we call the off-season here, where we get maybe about 30% of the tourism trade because the ships gone elsewhere. And so for us to sit back and wait for any company to show up and get approval by the government to handle the transportation in terms of the dispatching at the port and all the different things, we're going to have a problem with that. So we are asking for a meeting for the support of the taxi fraternity for when we go to let their voices be heard. We should not allow for that to happen. So the situation, Africa, that you described at the airport, you're wondering if it was a one-off because the regular courses were not there in place. We can't leave that to guesswork. It's our livelihood. Now, we compete with others for the same dependency. The source markets are limited. We have about 98% of the CARICOM countries dependent on tourism. Trinidad less so, Guyana less so, but Barbuda, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Bahamas, Belize, Dominica. Now Haiti does not factor into this. But Jamaica, Montserrat to a less extent, St. Kitts and Nevis definitely, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, Suriname, etc. St. Martin has a very, very vibrant tourism industry. I think it's the number one foreign revenue earner. We fall in that category in terms of the percentage of the income that we get from that. But we're competing with others in the same dependency. And that's one of the reasons that we are so tiptoeing around the whole issue about the deportees and what we will accept and the conditions and terms. Now, there's a monetary value to that. I think the governments are given X amount of million, whatever it is for time frame, to host these deportees. And so there is this whole thing about compromising. Even though we claim that we're independent, we have to compromise. But I'm still saying, if CARICOM bands together, you can still demand or negotiate for better conditions, rather than Gaston go by himself. We have a call? Gaston goes by himself, or Prime Minister go by himself, and each go individually because they will squeeze every last drop out of you. And we go back to the phone lines, go to call the 11 voices.
Good morning to you. Peace to our nation and peace to you. This is Lincoln David Pell.
Mr. Pell, are you calling him this morning? I'm glad you were able to get on.
I'm calling to talk about the results from our young person. Outstanding results, especially from this young lady, Mia Rum. And I am
Visually
so
impaired?
happy and proud of her because of her condition.
Visually impaired.
Second?
She's visually impaired?
Yes, yes. She's blind. And I am saying is that God was good to her because out of 9, according to them, 8, and she got 5 distinctions, that's one big achievement. I think that would maybe even in the Guinness World Book of Records. But of course, if not for the world, at least for St. Kitts.
You have to be researched.
Because I cannot recall anyone in such condition would have done such thing. And I hope that our government, our Ministry of Education will look at her and give her, if she wants a scholarship to go and study, give her that scholarship, or whatever it is, to help her, because that's something that is unbelievable, incredible, just a miracle from God. God have blessed her with such things. So that's what one of the reasons why I'm calling for. To hope that my voice would lend some kind of positive thing to let the government recognize her in such a positive way.
Question.
I pray she get this scholarship. Yes, sir.
If you form the government tomorrow, what will your position be? How would you, if you form the government tomorrow, you're part of a party that's campaigning for under the next election. So if you form the government tomorrow, in relation to the young lady, what would your position be? I know what you're saying now.
Full scholarship, and even something else that would have, even if the family have any difficulty with any house and so on, what I'm saying, that's remarkable. That's just outstanding. And that's something that I do not know if anyone else would be able to do that again. But that is first in the history of our nation. And for something like that, just like we have the Independence Baby and so forth, this could be something like that. This is first. And other persons, when they do remarkable things, let's say for sports and so on, this is education. I don't think there's anything you could put on education, but there's something that is special recognition. Imagine, I think some years ago when one of our students here did remarkable work, something special was given to the person. And this was somebody who is, as we say, normal. But this person had a special condition and did so well. I think the nation should be rallying behind her and her family. Congratulations to her and her mother. And let us see if we could get her a scholarship and find out certain things and wherever we could help to make things better for them. Let's do that. That's what I would do if I was in government today.
But in the meantime?
Yes, sir.
But in the meantime, would you advocate to the Ministry of Education? Put it in writing, campaign for it is a great thing. So even though you're not in government and you're advocating for that, what would you personally do from a party standpoint?
Well, I know government are listening. People in the different government departments are listening. So on behalf of my young friend and her mother, Mayor Romney, I'm asking for the government to give her full scholarship and any other courtesies that are required to make sure things are comfortable for them. It's just remarkable. Just remarkable. It's just amazing. It's just a God-bless situation we have here. And I don't think we should let something like this pass without proper recognition of such, because it's just remarkable. Just for that, I think our country will be on the map by hearing such things. At least I know in the Caribbean. Okay. In the wider world, because the amazing things happen in the wider world for other persons in such conditions. And she plays the piano as well, and she sings. And this is the amazing thing. So I only hope that they will also give her an interview and let her express herself, and so they could know what else she does. So at least they could help in that area. But if I was in government, like I said, you would have seen something amazing. I cannot explain now, but I know things would have been different for them, and a scholarship would have been on hand and set to go to wherever university she would want to go to further her studies. Because I know she's in music. I'm not sure if that's what she would want to go into, but at least that courtesy would have been extended to. So I'm asking the government, and my good friend, Mr. Hanley, who is the education minister, and the other minister, the prime minister, I'm just asking you guys to, this is our citizen, this is our national, this is our pride and joy, I could say, now. Yes, there are others who are maybe more subject because they have the full faculties and so on, but this is a special and unique case. And let us celebrate with her and her family to get that done. I I wish I was in a position to do what I'm saying.
Knowing you,
my heart to do for her.
knowing you, I know you will do whatever in your endeavor to make sure that she's appreciated. I know you personally. I know what you do, right? But from a party perspective, were you in government, what would you do? You're not in government at the moment, but still, as a citizen, a proud citizen, applauding her achievements, I'm happy that we're able to call in on the program and help to support that movement, because there has to be something done to acknowledge her, and I'm glad that you're part of that discussion. Yes,
and I know they're listening. So, my friend, Mr. Hanley, I'm asking you, and who knows, maybe you might have something to say to it, but I'm just echoing that. Mm-hmm. And my friend, the Prime Minister, as well. Let's just recognize our people when they do something extraordinary, and this is something extraordinary. The other thing I would like to talk to my friend is about, we have a team in Birmingham, England, and I saw some videos and some clips, and because I think it was a petition division heritage celebration in the UK, and I think
Little St. Kitts. Birmingham is Little St. Kitts.
Right, and it's amazing what I see there. So I just want to encourage them as well to do their thing and big up our nation, and also our sporting persons who have done marvelous things around, just try to celebrate our people and lift them up and help them in whatever. And the reason why I'm talking this is because this is our party stand. This is my stand to make sure our people, whatever they do, they have the opportunity, just the opportunity. And that is why I'm saying, I know this is not a political thing, but I am here to create opportunity for our people, to make our people prosperous, our nation prosperous. Mm-hmm. And it's only by giving our persons the opportunity we can get that thing done.
Much appreciated.
So therefore, I would just want our person to celebrate our person. We have the ticketing coming here. Let us make sure our nation do us proud. We do make our nation proud, because these little things could have big spin-off financially, economically, wherever you want to put it, to benefit our nation. And I am talking this because of the plans my party has to make sure our country, our people are prosperous again, and to make sure we have generational wealth, start creating it. We never used to think about that before. I am one of the persons who advocating for us to think about generational wealth, because when we gone, our children continue, so therefore we should leave something for them to prosper.
Okay.
And I would like, before I go, there's a gentleman who passed away in my constituency, number 7. I just want to say condolences to his family, and I just want to remember the good things, good memories of him. So the other thing I would like to talk about, like I said, you already give me a couple of times, so I just wanted to point out that...
You can call back. We do have this pause for session break at the moment, but you can call back. Okay?
Yeah, but sometimes it's difficult to get in. So God bless you, God bless. Thank you, and of course, God bless constituency number 7, and peace be with us, peace with number 7. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much for the contribution. As we pause once more to honor our sponsors.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Back to school shopping doesn't have to be stressful. Get ahead of the class with TDC Home and Building Depot. Save 20% off school supplies, stationery, office supplies, and office furniture. And parents, we're making your shopping even easier with Prep My Basket. Simply submit your school list and let us prepare a quote for you. Or create your wish list online and get everything organized before you even step into the store. Less running around, less stress. One convenient stop for everything you need. Shop TDC Home and Building Depot and prep your basket today. 20% off until August 31st. TDC Home and Building Depot. Get ahead of the class.
It's Day Rave Round Robin, running from June 13th to September 26th. Saturday, June 13th, we kick it off at Starlink HQ opposite Carib Brewery. Sunday, June 21st, Progressive Bar next to the Sandy Point Market. Saturday, July 4th, we at Chef Sam on 4th Street. Friday, July 10th, Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meals. Saturday, July 18th, it's at Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. Saturday, July 25th, check out Short Boss at the Ferry Terminal. Saturday, August 1st, back at Starling HQ opposite Carib Brewery. Saturday, August 15th, Liquid Lounge Bar and Restaurant opposite the Sandy Point Hospital. Saturday, August 22nd, we're back at Cool Runnings Bar, Old Factory Factory Road. Saturday, August 29th, it's Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meal. Saturday, September 5th, Fun Times Bar on 4th Street. Saturday, 12th September, link up at Short Boss at Stewart Car Wash opposite School Meals. Saturday, September 19th, Independence Day, Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. And we close down on Saturday, September 26th at Chef Sam Bar on 4th Street. Day Rave Round Robin, June 13th to September 26th. Different DJs, different vibes, one experience. Daylight, music, energy. That's the Day Rave way.
The new Vita Malt bottle is here, and it's returnable. So don't throw it away, bring it back for cash. Return your empties to your local Carib Brewery Depot and distribution trucks in St. Kitts and Nevis. Vita Malt. Enjoy it. Return it. Let's keep St. Kitts and Nevis clean.
We're there. Sorry, welcome back to our viewers and listeners. I think my audio just dropped off for a second. Yes, it's 6 minutes past 11 o'clock, and we have just about, you have a caller? Good day, caller, you live on Voices?
Yes, the King, I'm back.
Yes, Africa.
Yes, I'm following your chain of thought, and what an opportune time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
We discussed it. The two president and I discussed that we need to approach him now. And then 2 days ago, I got information that there is a company that's forming who wants to approach the government to take over the whole transportation issue at Port Zante. So that's something that we do have to step up and address. So I'm glad you brought that point up, and let's see what you have to say on that.
Yes, the King, I'm following it. I also heard about it. So why do you think I brought it up? Because no. There's a time for everything, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of time for everything, I think we have given the public, the general public, because you will never know, the King, the multiplying effect of each taxi operator in this fraternity and their family members. You saw the food item that was supposed to be given to a family of 6, right?
Yes.
You saw the food hamper?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yes, so picture that. I'm a taxi driver. I'm a tour operator, whatever. But I have family members. I have children. I have grandchildren. So simply put, that multiplying effect. So it is only, wise for the members of the taxi association to approach them. And this is an opportune time to do so as well. Because the general public, the electorate, and I'm going to put it cannot be avoided. The electorates have given a mandate to the government to do things on behalf of the nation. And if the count serves me, if my memory serves me right, I think there are 400 registered taxi operators in the business.
Portion that
at this moment.
We're portioning that. But one of the issues with that, we have many persons who are still in the civil service who were able to secure a taxi driver's license. So we have sometimes when we're at the port, we operating the numbers that don't show up until a particular ship is in town. They are working in the offices or respective positions in government or wherever.
Yes, and then they do have,
it may be an oversight.
Maybe at the summer, maybe at the summertime they have, a week or two of break, on vacation and so forth. And yes, they apply their trade. But yes, so that is it. So here is it. This moment is approaching us where we're going to be home porting to a large ship. I was told it's the Avia.
Avia.
That's a large one.
It is.
And so we have to grab the bull by the horn. The taxi fraternity has to do that, and not allow it to be dispersed to. It cannot happen this time around.
It's not a challenge that we can't surmount. We have been in the industry for years, handling from the small. Now we come to the great. You can't say, okay, give it to this company because we're not able. We are quite capable of. Apart from the training, the track record, we have it.
And as we do our refreshers course, the King.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, a lady like Golda Frank, she was in that office, that department.
Yes.
She would have disclosed to us. She would have disclosed to us how much we are to be commended for the tremendous job that we does. Because it is there on record. Come on, all of this movement is us who take our guests around to the respective areas. Talking about taking my guests, I have dropped 4 persons from the Hotel the Marriott to the marina this morning for an excursion over to Nevis. So that speaks to what we do on a daily basis. So as the industry grows, so too shall we position ourselves to get benefit from the growth. So, as I know that they listen, the relevant tourism authority that is, we implore you, tourism, to allow us to continue to do what we do on a daily basis.
Implore.
Anything otherwise will be uncivilized.
But before you came into the industry, my friend, we had a minister of government back in the day who was competing. He was actually the minister of tourism. And he was competing with the taxi trade. He colluded with another private citizen, bought X amount of buses, and was competing with the taxi trade. To the point that it was Dr. Simmons who enacted a certain policy to protect the average taxi driver. But we had a minister of government in his greed back in the day who found it convenient to compete with the taxi trade. So it's not unheard of. That is why we have to dot our I's, cross our T's now. And not wait until when things start to roll to go and say, well, what about us? We must be part of that conversation.
And for them to have excuses to sideline
to say, well, you didn't come to us.
Like what we have.
We must be part of any conversation that deals with the transportation of our visitors, especially as we advance to that point where we are now home porting. You have more volume going back and forth. No company should be allowed to give a contract, given a contract, to handle that. We have the rolling stock. We have the experience. We are the ones who built this thing. We are the ones who are called the ambassadors when it's convenient. So we must be part of that conversation early o'clock.
And yes, the King, I hope it wasn't a one-off what I observed for myself on Saturday. And then we will take it from here forward. And we will continue to advocate.
But that's what I was asking you.
Medium.
You being part of that experience that I will be, you should know who to go and ask a question to determine if this is going to be the format going forward. Not wait until maybe something else. You find out. Put them on record. You're not a small cock.
I have already started. I have already started, the King. I have already started. Trust me. I don't just see these things. My vision, I have that sort of vision. So I just don't see these things and take it lightly. I saw the benefits that derives on Saturday. Because like I say, sometimes there are more flights or not, but we don't always, the systems don't always go to exhaust the amount of numbers given on a Saturday.
Okay.
And it is, so that there I have already started to feel, and put my voice out there and feel feedback from
So you had more
in
business
tourism.
coming to you because those other entities were not present. Is that
Yes,
it?
but there are times when the numbers, like I say, it may not be 50 or 60 on any given Saturday because persons might have other engagements. Persons might have persons in the hotel that they probably agreed on doing a tour on that day. Which my day, that day for me, if I get a tour to do, I will do. But normally in my mind, the way I operate, Saturday is a day for me to refill. Have two groups or three groups possible in the hotel.
So Saturday will never be
Somewhere
Sabbath,
throughout the course
right?
of the week, I will get a call.
I'm making a joke here. Saturday will never be your Sabbath.
Oh, no, I doesn't subscribe to know the... I move by my feeling. If I feel like resting on a Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen any indications of the list for the 26-27 season? Any feedback?
Repeat that?
Have you seen any or had any feedback on the upcoming 26-27 cruise passenger list? Have you seen any numbers?
No, I have not seen anything pertaining to that. But we hope that so far the weather condition, we know we're going to get rain. It takes a while to come, but we're seeing signs that we're going to get some rain come next month. And the farmers should do what they have to do, and we will do what we have to do in terms of preparation for the next upcoming season.
And you know what happens
Whatever
normally
the season
in
might
September,
be,
right?
yes.
You know,
whatever the season
in
will be,
September,
we just...
around the 19th, thereabouts, we get a little friendly visit from what those natural things, hurricanes.
Yes. That's the peak time. So we just, hope for the best, and then
Okay.
work from there on and going down towards making preparations for the upcoming season.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for listening, King.
Thanks for your contribution. We are on the cusp. It's 16 past, and once again, we don't have to pause to give credit to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
At 19 minutes past 11 o'clock, I'm told we have to go straight to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Hey, King, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm happy to hear from you.
Yo, same here, man. Likewise. But the conversation is interesting, but at the same time, don't forget that experience is man's best teacher. You speak about the new ship that will be supposedly to be in St. Kitts.
The home porting.
Huh?
The home porting
yes,
issue.
Home porting issue.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, there was once a time when the scenic railway was going to be started. The taxis had it, and the taxi operators had it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take these things, people don't have time to fool around. You are fully committed. That when those people say jump, you say how high, because those people are already paid, and you on standby to move whenever it's necessary. And so they find that they could not have handled it, so they move and get their own buses.
That was not the case.
So well,
I am not going to let you get away with that. That was not the case.
No. Don't let me get away. But you hold.
Okay.
Just a few minutes ago, you were speaking to Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about his Sabbath.
Yeah.
And he was talking about his day off. No, I got to remind you that when you're into the tourist business.
No. He said he don't have any day off, you know.
Oh, that's what he said.
He said he don't have any days off. He don't take any day off.
Okay, but you have to make sure that when people pay to get an operation done, they don't want to know if your baby's sick, if you're helping you. They expect you to be there and deliver, and that's all they care about.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure that you're responsible to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You remember also the story with Four Seasons, where that came from, and the movement of the people.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, I say all of that to say this. Whenever you stick your head out, make sure you have on your helmet. Are you ready to deliver?
Mm-hmm.
Don't go out there empty-handed with an expectation that you could show up when you want and do what you feel, and no, you don't work that way. That is the story of that whole essence. The other thing that I want to hear about is what happened to Pirate's Nest. What happened to Ramada? What happened to Petition Hill? What happened to OTI? I would like somebody to reach out to the gentleman who in charge our own ocean terracing, do whatever is necessary. And if you have to kiss him, tell him, mister, we have too much closed down and dilapidated hotel and tourism product in our country for you to close ocean terracing. And also Fisherman's Wharf. What is happening? Instead of getting things to improve, it looks like you're taking 2 steps backward and half forward. And these are good products that could be in use. Are we going to use them? Or are we going to just have the facility shut down? You know what I wish? I wish the government or those who intend to get into public office will tell the people what are the intentions to make these assets productive.
Is white elephants?
Are they a liability? Because it appears to me that Petition is a liability and rather than an asset. And so I'm not sure where we're going. It's scary, and it's wondering why are we in this position? Why are we not being told how it is being maintained? Because if you give Petition Hill 6 months, it become part of the forest. You know, the forest will take it over. You know how much millions of dollars up there? You know, little bit of money you're talking about.
Whitegate has been a failure. You remember the Gold Coast?
Yes.
You remember all that intended investment down there?
Yes.
How money we borrowed from Unity Trust Bank in Trinidad? Remember the green fence?
I remember, but
it's a failure. It has been a failure from the inception.
Yes, agree.
Okay.
And knowing all of that.
Galaxy, the hotel down there, was closed. I'll tell you about that. A couple of years ago, there was some internet business around music festival time. And management had to choose between filling the pool, swimming pool, or having water in the bathroom for the guests. You understand? So if you want to swim in the pool, you had no water in the hotel rooms. And that is what it came to. Look at the source of that investment. A lot of these so-called investors came in and took our money. Look who was leading the country at the time We talk about over $1 billion US of CBI money that went to fund those projects. We look who's in charge of selling our passports. Selling our passports. Look at the projects that they built. Whitegate, because to some extent, they got free money. So that hotel down there, that Galaxy, you had to choose between water in the swimming pool and water in the bathrooms. So it comes down to how our money is invested. Some time ago, the Honorable Minister was speaking about hotel rooms, and the question was posed, but we have all these hotel rooms there. What are we doing with them? You don't need no hotel if you look at the numbers. We have all the rooms available.
I frighten for that, Dr. Because let me tell you something. As simple as you have it, you have to have fantastic, enormous skill to spend the generating income that is collected from taxpayers and wherever you get the money from to maintain your status quo, you know. Because I believe that we are the government are sustaining Kitchen Hill, you know.
Yes.
Subsidizing. You don't have enough financial room to maneuver.
When I was in the tourism board, there was discussion about a golf course down there, and they just scrapped it. They were trying to put a golf course down there to attract that trade, and the people say it's not up to par. They scrapped it. So the vision is one thing. The thinking, conceptualizing is a whole different thing. Whitegate is a failure, has always been for the many, many years. From the golf course, from fencing this and all that to the hill, it's been a failure. It comes down to management. And looking at who the investors and shareholders are. The scenic railway, if you have to look at who the shareholders are, were, etc., you will understand why they were given permission to bring in their own buses. It was not because taxi drivers were not reliable. What happened then, the presidents of the association did not come on board to push back against the narrative that was sold to the public. That's why he said they were not electrical with that, but we don't have enough time to do that right now. That was a con on the public. That was a con. Because the man said he did not come here to compete with the local transport. But when you look at the people behind the machinations, I can say this definitively. One of the last meetings that I had with Denzel Douglas in his office is when we from the taxi leadership went to him protesting the scenic railway operation. He said to us that he did not know that the buses that he gave permission to operate was of the scenic railway. He thought it belongs to Bradford Tweed, and Carlton DuPont. That is why he gave them permission. He said further, inasmuch as the seating buses are here and we can't send them back, we'll have a sharing arrangement. One ship go to La Amiga Taxi, one go to Sakers Taxi Association, and the other go to Scenic Railway. And we left the meeting, we were part of the circus, congregating, and some of them sound all excited. That sounds like a good deal. I asked them, "Oh, you believe that, man? Oh, you believe that, man?" Up to now. Though I asked Stefan was livid, he was against it. But when you look at the shareholders, we tried. That con, the pull on the public, was because of who the shareholders were operating behind the scene. It was not because the taxi drivers were not reliable, punctual, and on time. But the problem was the then presidency did not come on the media and push back against that narrative. So the public bought it. So that caution in your tone, I appreciate it. But I will tell you, it was not because taxi men were not reliable, punctual, and, able to do the service. It was a con. But not the same amount. Are you still there? Okay. We'll have lost a caller. My good friend from the circus. Still there? Okay. I want to commend taxi drivers, the taxi fraternity, because we've done a sterling job over the years, and we get the compliments, the feedback. The exit report says the taxi drivers, the tour operators, do a tremendous job. We get complimented at every level. So, whole strain, we will try to see, I'm talking about the leadership, what we can secure in terms of that increased traffic via the home porting arrangement, and whatever it is, we will try. But we're not going to stand by like in the past and stay mum, say nothing, and let the work go through the door. Right? So thank you for calling. It's 29 minutes past. I get into my things sometimes because you talk on my topic. We take Kate downtown once again to give Caesar's due, and we'll be right back.
Found the sound, 98.9.
The new Vita Malt bottle is here, and it's returnable. So don't throw it away, bring it back for cash. Return your empties to your local Carib Brewery Depot and distribution trucks in St. Kitts and Nevis. Vita Malt. Enjoy it. Return it. Let's keep St. Kitts and Nevis clean.
Back to school shopping doesn't have to be stressful. Get ahead of the class with TDC Home and Building Depot. Save 20% off school supplies, stationery, office supplies, and office furniture. And parents, we're making your shopping even easier with Prep My Basket. Simply submit your school list and let us prepare a quote for you. Or create your wish list online and get everything organized before you even step into the store. Less running around, less stress. One convenient stop for everything you need. Shop TDC Home and Building Depot and prep your basket today. 20% off until August 31st. TDC Home and Building Depot. Get ahead of the class.
Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
So we're back, and we're we got about 29 minutes before we close, so we'll take calls, or I'll get into a bit of assessment. About 12 of the 15 CARICOM member states, I would say, are heavily dependent on tourism. Okay, back to the phone lines. Call 11 voices.
Yes, Socrates, it's me again.
Sir, go ahead.
Yes. Now, on a different issue, though, still to do with the Bible. Now, earlier in the previous program, a caller called in and asked, what was the
earlier in the previous program?
Yes. Island Tea?
Oh, go ahead.
Yes. A caller called in and asked, what was the forbidden fruit in the garden? If it was the thing between Eve's legs. Now, with all due respect, when God created the man and the woman, he said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth. So therefore, God ordained sex for both Adam and Eve. So, the thing, as he put it, between Eve
it would not have been that.
Could not have been that. And the Bible is very plain what it was. It was a fruit, but the Bible ain't tell us what fruit it was. So we do not know if it is an apple, a banana, a tangerine, or whatever. We do not know. The Bible ain't say. As a matter of fact, it could have been a fruit that don't exist today. Who knows? That's what I want to say. But the caller also quickly also want to say, the caller also said, oh, now I'm a big man. You know, I put away religion and so. Well, my question is, to everybody, is that, how can you defend the existence of right and wrong and good and evil apart from the Bible? and that such are not delusions and illusions in our minds only. How could you defend the existence of morality over against morality being delusion and illusion in our minds only?
One can say that religion and having a one-on-one relation with your Creator are two different things.
But I didn't say religion, the Bible. I said, how could you do that without the Bible?
That now he's going, he put away religion. That's what you said.
Yes. Yeah, that's what he said. But I am saying, because when people talk about religion, they're also including the Bible as well. And I am saying, based upon the Bible, how could you defend morality? How could you defend that there is such a thing as morality apart from the Bible, and that morality is not illusions and delusions in our mind only? How could you do that apart from the Bible in defending the existence of morality?
I will still maintain you cannot subscribe to religion, have a one-on-one relationship with your Creator, and define morality or how we should live. Religion may not be a part of that thinking. I'm just saying, because religion has been detrimental to our people, not only our people, but throughout centuries. That tool called religion has been detrimental to humanity.
Yeah, but I'm saying apart from the Bible, not religion, apart from the Bible, how can you defend the existence of right and wrong and good and bad? And show that they are not just mere illusions and delusions in our mind only.
Okay,
how
that was
could
a
you do
discussion.
that apart from the Bible? Not religion, me using the word
Okay,
religion.
got you.
That is the standard. Yes.
All right.
Okay, Socrates.
Much appreciated. Okay. If I may speak about I was saying we have about 12 countries within CARICOM who are heavily dependent on tourism. So I have to commend my government, successive governments over the years, has put the infrastructure in place so that I can boast when I'm taking a tour from Port Zante that we are able to easily host the largest ship in the world. Well, now we know every 2 weeks, every 3 months, you have talk about having a bigger ship. Star of the Seas, when in dock here about maybe 8 months ago, was the largest ship in the world. I was the one who went as part of that welcome delegation. And we have to commend the government for that. We go back to the phone lines. Call your live on Voices.
Quickly, the king. Now, was it a literal food?
It could be metaphorical, I don't know.
King, I'm not directly asking you for an answer. I know the answer. It was not a literal food. I mean, if you follow the scripture closely, you would know that it says you may eat of everything else. But it wasn't a literal food. We're talking about knowledge. We're talking about knowledge as a guide of when spirit. Adam, what if I tell you, the king, that Adam and Eve weren't even literal people? Because if you go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, I think, it says that God created male and female in his image and likeness and blessed them. And you go to Genesis 2, it says Lord God. We're dealing with medieval Europe, where a Lord was a human being that was very powerful. Now, have you ever asked yourself the question as to Genesis 1? No elaboration as how God created male and female, but Genesis 2 gives you a Lord God create with a little explanation as how Adam was created, shaped from the dust, and breathed the breath of life into him. There are two different creations right there between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, but we overlook that.
Okay.
Now, back to the fruit, the king. Knowledge, sacred knowledge. The very writers themselves came upon sacred knowledge, and they have corrupted it. To put it in a book to say, well, this is the way. Remember again, that after Eve listened to what we now know as the serpent, the devil, judgment was passed upon Eve, Adam, and the serpent. Now, what is a serpent? A snake. He said, on your belly thou shalt go. But then how did the snake went before judgment was passed upon the serpent? But it wasn't a literal serpent, because the deity that was in the garden threatened the rule of control. Adam and Eve was placed in the garden passive under a threat. If you touch or eat, you shall die. But let us read it for what it says. The presence of God left Adam and Eve. They were naked and they weren't ashamed. We're talking about consciousness that does not have a body. He had no ego. It was just there existing. They were in harmony with themselves, naked and weren't ashamed. But when the presence of God left, according to how we read it, when God came back and Eve listened to the other deity that we call the devil, her eyes was open and she gave to her husband, Adam. And when God came back, God said, Adam, Adam, where art thou? Adam said, I heard you because I hid, because I see I was naked. Knowledge was shared to Eve and she gave it to her husband. They were in the garden naked and they weren't ashamed the king. So we have to interpret. We have to go deep within to get that inner understanding of when spirit became flesh. And all of us went through that, through the primordial waters. Then we break in the womb of our mother.
Okay.
That's the primordial water that we all came through, our first baptism. We don't need no middle man between us and the Creator. Once you go within the King, and knowing is superior to believing. We are here regurgitating what a set of people put in a book. They themselves weren't there, and neither do we. We weren't there, but once you search for facts, historical facts, and know that it all began within the African space. And here we are regurgitating European misery that they put in a book to keep us controlled, to keep us from knowing our power that our ancestors had. Because they gave us a deity called God in a book and in the sky.
All right.
We got to get real.
Once again, thanks for your contribution. And I may have to go theologian school to learn all of this. I just let it pass over my head. Anyway, thank you for your contribution once again, bringing clarity to that particular point. I hope we don't get a call to counter that at this stage of the program, but it is called Voices. Okay. So thank you for your contribution. Yeah, I was on the point, let me hit this briefly before we go to the next station break, about commending the governments who have put the infrastructure in place where we can now compete easily with the many islands in the Caribbean, dependent on the same industry, tourism. And question is, had it not been for that, we have to go back to when the Honorable Paul Southwell then decided fit to create establish a Department of Tourism, which has morphed in today to one of the best managed industry in the region. So I thank the government for that, putting that infrastructure in place where now Antigua, who used to be ahead of us in terms of being able to berth large ships, they're now trying to play catch up. As a matter of fact, when the Stars of the Seas came in some years ago, people in Antigua started to go, oh, look, saying this now, they can take on the ship. And all that went on. So Gaston, in his wisdom, is now trying to put in place berthing facilities where they can berth now easily, like we do, the largest ship in the world. So we have something to boast about, even though it brings a certain level of, depending on how we look at it, servitude, but you're also able to make a living. Once you position yourself, self-employed, making a decent earnest and responsible living from this tourism industry. And we here in St. Kitts Nevis have been commended time and time again for how we interact, the level of service, the professionalism that encourages return passengers. Very, very important. Because in the tourism industry, a lot depends on the good report from the respective territories. And we are up there with any other country in the region, be it Jamaica, be it St. Martin next door. The time they get like X amount of ships per day, we may have less amount. It happens. They were established long before us. But for the many countries in the region dependent on the same industry as we are, we collectively have been able to hold our own. There's a big demand for more people. I won't say demand. Well, a lot of folks are now trying to get into the industry. I heard one of the officials at tourism says it's oversaturated. It needs to be better managed. That is a fact. But it shows you the persons who are willing to contribute at whatever level to this industry that is growing. So if it's managed properly, as it grows, should be able to take in more operators, taxi drivers, etc. But as it stands right now, it is oversaturated, but it's a tool that's used mainly around election time to invite people in. And you run the risk of having too many people on the ground, but as Mr. Grant told me one time, he had a lot of folks coming to him to get jobs in the industry. He said, unlike Patches, who had public works, he had the port, he had this, he had that, he could find work for people. He had a hard time, and so he would give jobs to people in the industry, and that became a problem in the end, but he had no other option because people are demanding jobs, we vote for you, we want a job, and it's very lucrative when you sit outside and see the ships come in with the many thousand that the government boasts about. We had X amount of thousand on the ground. Everybody wanted to get a piece of the pie. I understand that. I appreciate that. But also, as the caller before, not just before, was saying, we have to be careful as to how we manage and husband that industry. Once you sign on to certain things, you have to be able to deliver at the peak level. I am saying here in St. Kitts Nevis, that's not a challenge for us. We have the track record of delivering at the peak level, whether it's a nature tour, a heritage tour, a walking tour around Bassi, etc., we deliver. So once again, thank the successive governments for maintaining that level of marketing, which is important, and having the infrastructure, the mechanism in place. Next month, they will have a refresher course. They'll have a refresher course for taxi drivers. I think I overlook a bit of break time, so we take that now, and we come back after this. Credit to our sponsors.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
It's Day Rave Round Robin, running from June 13th to September 26th. Saturday, June 13th, we kick it off at Starlink HQ, opposite Carib Brewery. Sunday, June 21st, Progressive Bar next to the Sandy Point Market. Saturday, July 4th, we at Chef Sam on 4th Street. Friday, July 10th, Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meals. Saturday, July 18th, it's at Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. Saturday, July 25th, check out Short Boss at the Ferry Terminal. Saturday, August 1st, back at Starling HQ, opposite Carib Brewery. Saturday, August 15th, Liquid Lounge, Bar and Restaurant, opposite the Sandy Point Hospital. Saturday, August 22nd, we're back at Cool Runnings Bar, Old Factory Road. Saturday, August 29th, it's Diddy's Bar at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meal. Saturday, Friday, September 5th, Fun Times Bar on 4th Street. Saturday, 12th September, link up at Short Bus at Stewart Car Wash, opposite School Meals. Saturday, September 19th, Independence Day, Cool Runnings Bar and Grill, Old Factory Road. And we close down on Saturday, September 26th at Chef Sam Bar on 4th Street. Day Rave, Round Robin, June 13th to September 26th. Different DJs, different vibes, one experience. Daylight, music, energy. That's the Day Rave way.
Drive into something new. Horsefoot Automotive, waiting for you.
St. Kitts and Nevis, get ready to drive into something new. Happening now through September 30th. Celebrate the journey to independence with Horsford's Automotive's Drive into Something New auto sales event. Together with the Heritage Initiative Motor Promotion from S.A. Horsford's Finance Company Limited, agents for Guardian Insurance. Enjoy! No down payment, free registration, 12 months free servicing, and up to $8,500 off all models. Plus, receive up to $1,000 in free gas or groceries, while customers financed through S.L. Horsford Finance Company Limited receive a free bill of sale and an additional $500 off first-year insurance with Guardian Insurance. Eligible Heritage customers can also receive a 30% discount, free windshield coverage up to $4,000 EC, free open driver coverage, retention of their no-claim discount, and loss of benefits up to $1,750 EC. Visit Horsford's Automotive today. At Horsford's, drive into something new, drive in style. Save more, protect what matters. Terms, conditions, and eligibility requirements apply.
So we are in the closing minutes of today's presentation, and Chris Collins, I just read his thing. He says, these guys, and you can guess who's referring to. These guys need to start their own church. You're strong to deal with them. My friend Chris, I appreciate the thing there. As for Brenda O'Neill, also we appreciate you. Thank for your contribution. Let me touch on something that was supposed to take place on Saturday past. We had the Assistant Secretary for the Department of Culture in the person of Ms. Keisha Isaac Adams. She was here with us, speaking about the program to be held down at Bloody Point on the football field in Challengers last week, Saturday. For whatever reason, it was postponed. It gave me a chance now to speak to it once again. It's the 400th year anniversary, not a celebration, of slaughter of the Kalinagos down at Bloody Point. There'll be a ceremony to recap as much of that history, recount it, share it. There'll be a contingent of the Kalinagos from Dominica coming here. Have a call, 2 seconds, with the leader of the Kalinagos, the chief. She's female, and they'll be here giving us a demonstration and sharing with us the experience. And that's this coming Saturday, down at the football field in Challengers. We go back to the phone lines, call your live on voices.
Yes, Socrates, it's me again. Now, well, thank God that event didn't come off, and I hope that it will never come off.
No. If you have something to say, don't talk about that. You're glad it didn't come off. Come on, I want to love you to do so.
Okay, another issue.
Go ahead.
Yes. Another issue. Now, another issue is that, these ton load of land that are being given to these hotels and that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think it is part of making petitions to be the tail and the foreigners to be the head.
Make us more subservient?
Yes, to make Kittition subservient to foreigners.
Who's doing that?
The government is
We're
doing
supposed
it
to
in
be an
giving out
independent
these.
nation. We're supposed to be attracting. We're supposed to be an independent nation, attracting foreign investors to develop our country. You're saying that they are trying to make us, the citizens,
That is what they are doing, because I want to see the investment to be mostly and overwhelmingly be local. Now, these lots of lands would have been better served if they were shared up freely to Kittition families, so that you could empower Kittition more than how they're being empowered, and give them enough land so that they could not only use the land for residential purposes, but also for business purposes as well. Make sure the land is big enough for that. Because how I see these lands that they're giving Kittition, especially if you look at them from an aerial view, you will see these very small plats where they're packing Kittitions up as sardines on a project.
You have lands for housing development. You have lands for like hotel and those industries. In terms of local investment, the second cruise pier at Port Zante that someone's calling avocado, whatever, that's mainly local investments. Tangible.
Well, we would have seen
local investment. That's local investment. There's the second pier, right? In terms of lands given to like hotel, etc. You have a program for foreign investors, etc. But they should not be allowed to come in and take our money. Over at the Southeast Peninsula years ago, when the name of the hotel escapes me, was building. They brought conditions to the government then to own Cockleshell Bay. The government ran them. You can't come here to own our beaches. That's protecting the country from exploitation, because if they were given permission to have that beach for themselves, what would our people be doing now?
What I'm saying
thousands of Kittitians go there and they make the investment taxi drivers by taking trade, etc. So you have to protect. So it's the investment and who invites it and what terms you give them.
But what I'm saying is that if these ton-load of lands that are given for these hotel purposes by foreigners, if there was instead given to Kittitian families, you would have seen far more local investment coming on the scene and Kittitians being empowered a lot more, especially.
How do you generate revenue from that?
You lower taxes. Hello?
How do you generate revenue from that? You have to make comparisons.
You, for example, let's say, well, I believe in taxes being 100% voluntary, okay? But even if we take the advice of Solomon's advisors and lower taxes and that sort of stuff, even if we start with that, Kittitians will be having much more money in their pocket, and so government giving them lands, they will be better able to invest in whatever property government give them.
From that tax base?
And we would have been seeing a lot more local investment.
From that small tax base? What's the thing on housing? Any property under $80,000, you don't pay tax on that. 0.2%. 0.2% of the property value is what you pay.
Yes.
But we have many small houses around the region. Once you're valued on $80,000, you don't pay tax on that. So you have to look at your tax base. If you have a proposal for a hotel which will generate a higher tax base plus employment, you have to give that precedence.
But if Kittitian had more money in their pocket, Kittitian would have been building a lot more businesses, which would have been, I would argue, even generated more employment and more empowerment for Kittitian. Just like how when Pam took off the personal income tax, it boosts small businesses and that sort of stuff, and therefore boosts employment and boosts empowerment for Kittitians.
But that's
if we had such things
that's
as
still applicable.
report,
That's still applicable. We do not pay any personal income tax.
Well, but we pay now other taxes, including VAT, and not only that, duties. We have a lot of duties. If we had duty reports and that sort of stuff, tax reports and that sort of stuff, we would have been even in a better position to build and invest more in businesses locally.
Okay. I don't know if you were the first caller, but you've called at least 4 times. We have 2 minutes to wrap up, so we have 1 minute actually. So I want to appreciate your many contributions today. The whole tax issue on investment, we have to revisit at another time, but we are at the point where you have to close the match down right now, okay? So thank you for your contribution. At 11:59, we've come to another end of the presentation of Voices. I want to thank all my callers, the viewers, and those who expressed via text, like Chris Collins. I do appreciate. Hey, Johnny. But actually, next time I see you, Chris Collins wants to know if you have your own church. Not Johnny, sorry, Gregory. Chris Collins wants to know if you have your own church. I will take it from there, okay? So once again, to our viewers and listeners and all those who are friends and fans of Voices, we want to wish you a most beautiful day, rest of Monday, the 24th of August, and that you can join us tomorrow on the other programs. And so I wish you once again peace, love, and a better tomorrow. As I say hi, a hello to Bag of Sugar from Bagatelle. Have a nice day.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe.